questions, comments, or concerns, please let us know. We'll be happy to visit with you or talk to you on the phone. And pretty much what both of us have been doing has either been answering questions if we know the answer, or just kind of recording comments. So any comments we get, we will bring back to the board. And then I suggest that when we're finished with our fencing ordinance discussion, I don't want to call people out for two big issues at the same time, but I think it would be, we might want to handle it in the same way. We either have some sort of a hearing, but some sort of a process where we let people know that, okay, the board's going to be talking about this now, so if you want to make comment, please do so, or please come to the meeting. But I think one issue at a time is probably the preferred method. So if there's anything else you would like the committee to do or me to do in terms of getting information prior to that time, let me know. That's it. Thank you.
Sherry?
Building Department report. On November 1 through November 30 of last year, we had a total construction value of $126,300, which generated fees of $7,079, one commercial remodel, one single family remodel, one home addition, and the rest were small miscellaneous. This year, same time period, all small miscellaneous with total construction value of $50,800, fees of $1,054. Yearly, January to date, last year, construction value of $8,142,391, fees to the village of $93,681. This year, construction value of $3,357,533. That's a lot of threes. Generating fees of $40,826. So we're slightly less than half of where we were last year, and last year was slow. So we are that much slower this year.
Trustee Drader, if you want those figures in the minutes. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Mike?
I'm just going to say to Bruce, in the past when there's been something legal, you've kind of sent that to me either beforehand or this email policy. I thought maybe you and I could have discussed that prior maybe to going to the full board, but just food for thought in the future. And I'd like to actually give you some input on that. But I've done those policies before. Okay?
Sorry.
I may have been able to help you out earlier as opposed to reinventing the wheel. And then I don't want to stall the fence issue, but I'm going to be gone on the 15th. And like Bill, I would like to participate on that issue. So if no one has an objection, or no one has a vigorous objection, if we could put it off until the January meeting, that would be great, because I will be gone.
Yeah, and if we're going to do that, which I think is fine, because I think we all should be here, we probably want to make sure we put that on the website or something so that people know that there won't be a discussion of it until that time, so that they don't, if they wanted to come out specifically for that issue, they weren't wasting
And I have to express my appreciation to Rich for getting the word out that we weren't going to be discussing it tonight.
Very much so. Save a lot of grief for a lot of people.
Right, a lot of people would have been dragging this
Wish
out.
whatever you did this time, do it again, because Okay, anything else, Mike?
That's all.
Okay, Rich?
I'd like to talk just briefly about Swelco. A month ago at a board meeting, the president asked me to comment on something he had seen in the Deerfield Review about Swelco recommending incinerators. I wasn't prepared to talk about it at that time, but I am a little bit now. Every 4 years, Swelco puts forth their 5-year plan update. They did so in 2004, and they included in that a recommendation to include incineration as a possible means of disposing of solid waste. That was sent forward to the Lake County Board. The Lake County Board chose to delete that recommendation from the plan update. Well, this is 2009, 5 years later, and the executive director of Swalco believes that right now the known landfills within our county probably have a capacity for the next 8 to 10 years. And we know that these, the development of alternatives takes a lot of time. So his approach is to consider that we should be looking at alternatives because we don't know where the county will be 10 years from now. And so Swalco put forth in their 2009 plan update 3 suggestions to be included or alternatives to be investigated. One, again, was to investigate incineration. A second was to consider additional transfer stations. And a third was to consider emerging technologies that might be beneficial. All of these, so this was adopted by the board, Swalco board, at its most recent meeting, and it was put forward to an upcoming Lake County board meeting on December 8th. I think it's a week from tonight. As I say, this is just a recommendation to investigate, and we know that the democratic process, the slow wheel will grind slowly, and that's why Swalco was interested in including this at this time, because 10 years, when you consider all the approvals and the legislative steps that have to go through, 10 years is not a lot of time. I don't know if any of you saw in a recent Deerfield Review an article, Residents Unite to Oppose Mass Incinerator in Lake County. So there's a group that call themselves Incinerator Free Lake County. They're drafting signatures on a petition that they intend to submit a week from tonight to the Lake County Board. So we'll see where it goes. I asked the executive director, I said, if we have no incinerators, if we do nothing with incineration, and 10 years from now we're running out of landfill, what's our absolute fallback? And I think the absolute fallback is that we send our solid waste perhaps to Wisconsin. We're doing some of that now, or we find an alternative site. It asks the question, will we be getting into a situation of beggar thy neighbor? So that's where we stand right now, and a week from tonight, I guess we'll find out whether that suggestion to evaluate incineration, whether it stays or goes.
Rich, didn't Wisconsin put a limit or a timetable on how much longer they would accept our waste? Yep.
I'm not aware. They might well have. I know they steeply raised the rates.
We steeply raised the rates because the EPA has stepped in and said that there will be no more landfills. The ones that are filled are going to be it. They're not going to issue any permits. Incinerators, unfortunately, unless somebody comes up with a new technology, is going to be the new garbage disposal. They had at the meeting last year I went to in John, they had people in from Germany, overseas, they've been in Europe, they're all over the place. That's how they get rid of their garbage. They have clean running, efficiency running plants, they collect materials, they recycle stuff, they use the gases from the plant to power things. I mean, it's a very, very efficient system over there.
Are there any operational in the U.S.?
Nothing right now. Everything's over there right now. They're building some, I think, out in California and somewhere else. I don't remember. They're just starting now. But they're way ahead of us in technology. They've been running these systems over there for 20, 25 years. So they're way ahead of us. And it's going to be the #1 problem for us all in the next 10 to 15 years is garbage disposal.
And after that comes water.
And garbage costs are going to go up. Garbage disposal.
Okay, thank you, Rich. Bruce?